And it kind of just, I want to touch back on, I mean, obviously going back to you as a child, like kind of like your upbringing a little bit. Like,
Hmm.
obviously you've always had a sense of entrepreneurism, but you were not utilizing it until you got older. So if you can go back in time and kind of pinpoint, was it a parent, was it like a family member that you were kind of picking up some of this entrepreneurial insight, savviness from over the years? Who would you kind of point that finger at?
Actually, it was a number of family members. So my uncle was an entrepreneur, and he was a marketing guy, and he's kind of the traditional. It was the 80s and 90s, traditional entrepreneur. He had his own office, and he was like the creative type, marketing artist. My grandfather was a radio airtime salesman, and by the time I knew him, he owned 7 radio stations. So, he taught me that sales is the path to opportunity, because it was his path to opportunity. He came back from World War II, became a radio airtime salesman, and from there built himself up to sales manager, general manager, station broker, station owner. My father owned a business. I would describe him as a business owner, not an entrepreneur.
Mm,
My grandfather's an entrepreneur. He was looking for opportunities. He was always getting creative. The business owner is a person who the way to do the thing they need to do is by owning a business, but given the choice, they'd work for someone else if they could do the same thing.
mm,
That my father was more like that. He taught people special needs to drive, and that was his passion, his mission. He wanted to do it, and he couldn't do it working for someone else because nobody else would do it right. So he had to build his own business, and he was a fantastic instructor and incredibly, he finally retired. I think a year or two ago,
mm.
in his 70s, because and the reason he wouldn't retire is he's like, but who's going to do the work? Not like the business, but like there's people who still need to be trained. Who's going to help them? But so he was an entrepreneur, and I mean, even my other grandfather was a minister,
Mm.
but that's still not your typical office job. So I don't think there was. I'm not sure there was anyone in my family who, like, I had no examples of people who went to an office 9 to 5. So now I'm thinking about it, like, of course I don't know how to go. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever had a 9 to 5 office job except in like high school when I was an intern for the summer. So of course I didn't go 9 to 5 office job because I never saw anyone else do it. Um, and naturally, when I graduated college, I started looking for jobs, couldn't find one, and rather than plug away at finding one, I'm like, jobs are kind of stupid anyway. I'll just make one. I'll just
Yeah.
raise some money for my family and open a store. Which, in retrospect, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Hmm.
Never. 5 years that store was in business, never made a profit.
It's crazy.
Um,
Well, I think it
but
was part of the journey, right? It was part of the learning curve to get you to where you
yes,
are currently, for sure.
I think of that as my master's degree.
Yeah, yeah,
My postgraduate education costs as much as a master's degree.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say MBA by fire for sure.